Chelsea Football Club Enzo Maresca comes out and calls Nicholas Jackson the perfect striker and he wants a carbon copy of him, but at the same time proceeds to glay, as the kids would say, Liam Delap. Furthermore, it looks like Huijsen will be leaving Bournemouth, but he won't be going to Real Madrid. They don't want to pay the money. They don't believe in the release clause. However, the English clubs are all queuing up and they're willing to pay the money. We're going to talk about it, but the Kavkas View community have spoken. Apparently, you don't want it. You're more interested in pushing someone else, and we'll talk about that. Furthermore, the top 5 race is heating up. All of a sudden, Nottingham Forest have lost to Everton, Manchester City have beaten Crystal Palace 5-2, and Aston Villa have dismantled Southampton like we all expected. So Chelsea are currently sitting in 6th place, but if you're positive like me, you're looking at it if we beat Ipswich tomorrow, we're 1 point off 3rd, and we're sitting comfortably in 4th place with 6 games to go. So let's analyze the games, let's preview the Ipswich game, but before we get started, 1,000 likes are greatly appreciated. It tells YouTube that you lot enjoy what you want. And secondly, subscribe. We're 200 people away from 40,000, and what I want to say is I'm here for a good time, not a bad time. So what it means is I'm here to make the best content to make you lot happy and inform you with good knowledge. So you have to subscribe. Do it now because you will forget. Let's get started. Look, I want to start with a Huijsen news, then proceed to the Liam Delap news, and then at the end finish off the Ipswich preview. Reality is a lot of Chelsea fans, including myself, want experienced signings this summer, right? We want 3 players that are genuine quality, around about the age between 24 to 27, 28, 29, we don't care. As long as they are quality players that raise the ceiling. The board have a different method. The board have a different avenue to go down. I don't agree with it. Before you lot say, look at this brown envelope justifying everything they do. I don't agree with it. I would do things differently. But what I do here is, I look at it from their perspective. I tell you the news and then I react to it. So, what is going on? It looks like El Chiringuito and other reports in Spain are coming out with the fact that Real Madrid will not be paying the £50 million release clause that Bournemouth have in Huijsen's contract. Why? They don't believe in paying money for players, evidently. They believe you run your contract down and we'll get you for free. There are other rumours going out that Saliba's got 2 years left on his contract. They're just planning to go with what they have at this moment in time, and they will go get him. But what does this mean long term? Well, it means there's Huijsen's available. Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal are all eagerly crowding around to jump on that £50 million release clause. But, and this is where it gets very interesting, a lot of people are saying we need to get Huijsen because he's the missing piece of the defence. I'm going to ask you the question, are you willing to have patience with him, the patience that you currently don't have with Levi Colwill? Look, Colwill will be great for 8 games, then Colwill will be bad. Why? Because he's young and he's developing and he's learning, but people aren't willing to have that patience. Now imagine you sign Huijsen, 19 years old, £50 million, and he goes through a bad spell. What do you think Chelsea fans are going to think? So the question here needs to reside is he worth the money, and do you believe he's good enough to come in and hit the ground running? So I asked a question today, because you know we've got a great community here at the Kavkas View. I went on that community page, I asked a question. Would you rather push Josh Achempong and sign another defender, a little bit more experienced, but it's almost like a stepping stone defender? Meaning Josh will get more opportunities at centre-back, we'll see what Josh is, or go and spend the money for a house. What ended up happening was something that really surprised me. People didn't want the shiny new toy. People wanted Josh Achempong. People wanted Josh Achempong to the point where there was almost 800 votes. 79% of you wanted Josh Achempong. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you believe Josh Achempong, if he played for Bournemouth this year, would be as highly regarded as Huijsen? What I'm going to say is I don't know. Because what I've seen from Josh Achempong so far is pretty nice. It's pretty interesting. However, we haven't seen enough of a sample size to judge him. With Huijsen, we have seen the sample size. We know how good he is. So the question now has to be, do you want the uncertainty of Josh completely, but with the upside of saving so much money and that money can be invested in another position? Or would you prefer spend the money in house, and likelihood is he's a Spanish international. He will become world-class one day, and we've almost got a partnership with Colwill and Huijsen, and maybe you can have Fofana and Chalobah as backups who are going to come in when either one of them have really down phases and when inadvertently Wesley Fofana gets injured again. Let me know in the comment section below which one would you prefer and the reason why. Chelsea need a striker. And we can all agree that Chelsea need this striker badly, right? Because Nicholas Jackson alone is not sufficient. Guiu is out. And in the summer, Chelsea are going to be looking to do business to bring in a striker. All of us in this community, or at least a lot of people in my comment section, think we all agree on who we want. We all want Victor Osimhen. However, Victor Osimhen's wages are ridiculously high. He's entitled to ask what he wants. He's entitled to earn the money he believes he should earn, the money that Saudi and a Turkish club is willing to pay him. So good on him. You want to go for the money? Go for them. If you want to go play in a competitive league, there'll be plenty of clubs, if you take a wage cut, that would be willing to take you. But that's just his decision, right? And we have to respect his decision. But what has happened? Well, Enzo Maresca was asked about Nicholas Jackson, and Enzo Maresca was very vocal about Nicholas Jackson. He basically said, look, Nicholas Jackson is my dream striker. He's my perfect striker. I want the core copy of Jackson in the summer. And then he went on to glaze Liam Delap. He called him superb, fantastic. He's got 12 goals this year, but on the weekend he's the enemy. And what does this all add up to? Guys, he was basically blushing when he was talking about Liam Delap. We're going to get Liam Delap. We're going to have two different profiles. Do I believe this is the way that Chelsea are going to proceed in the long term and be successful? I've got no clue. But what I do know is one of Delap or Jackson needs to ridiculously improve if we are going to get taken to the other level. Jackson, amazing with link-up play, good hold-up player, creates space, creates chances for others, can't finish. Look, I'm very disappointed in Jackson this year. I genuinely believed, right, come April this year, we'd be sitting on around about 15 goals. Jackson has got 9. 9 is not acceptable in the Premier League. I can't defend that. Because last year, you got 15. This year, I needed you to push on and get me 16 to 18. A lot of you said, Alex, he won't do that. I said he will, guys. Have faith. I believe there's a level for him to click. He started the season on fire, didn't continue it. That fire was absolutely put out, and it's really sad. But hopefully, with competition and someone to take him in and out the squad with less pressure on him, he'll develop. Delap, well, Delap's a young kid. He's 22 years old. He's first year in the Premier League. He's got 12 goals for Ipswich. The reality is, it is a big risk. If they're willing to take this risk, hey, it's your funeral if it doesn't work out. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where we just need to accept who they get, try to support it, because us moaning is not healthy content for anyone, right? No one wants to come here and hear me moan consistently. Oh, we don't have experienced players. They only want profit. There are plenty of people that do that. And there are plenty of options for people to go and watch. I genuinely don't want to do that, right? Because what I like to do here is, I like to take the news, I like to tell you it in a nice, entertaining, fluid way, in a quick, concise period of time, and then I give you my opinion. You either like my opinion or don't like it. You interact, we build a community, you talk to other Chelsea fans, we respect each other, and we keep it stepping. I think that is very simple, very easy, and I like it. And it's been working so far, right? We've built a great community, nearly 40,000. But like I said, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's preview the Ipswich game. So look, there are 3 positions that are available for Champions League, apart from the ones that are already taken by Arsenal and Liverpool. Nottingham Forest is currently sitting in 3rd. Manchester City is in 4th. Aston Villa is in 5th. And Chelsea are in 6th. Chelsea have a game in hand over all of those teams, meaning tomorrow against Ipswich, it is imperative that we win. Today, there were games. Aston Villa won their game 3-0. It was not easy because apparently at the 70th minute, I did not watch it. It was still 0-0. They had 2 penalties missed. They ended up scoring 3 goals, but they won the game. We expected it. The Manchester City game, Manchester City were losing by 2-0 against Crystal Palace. Eze scored a 3rd. VAR ruled it out with automatic offside. And then Manchester City just flicked the switch and absolutely destroyed them in the second half. I watched a bit of that game. Very good. Manchester City looks set to make Champions League. When I did my predictions the other day privately, I wrote out what the results would be. Manchester City, in my opinion, will finish 3rd. Chelsea will finish 4th, and then there will be a 5th place finish. But Chelsea have to win tomorrow. We got a little gift. When I did my predictions, I thought Forest were going to get a draw in today's game. Forest didn't get a draw, they lost. Meaning, Chelsea have a huge opportunity. We win tomorrow, we don't only go 4th, we become 1 point behind Forest. And all of a sudden, we're breathing down their neck. All of a sudden, they're shook. All of a sudden, This whole negative season could really be funny if we finish third. And my prediction comes right. Do you know what I mean? But tomorrow, big game. I don't want any excuses. There can't be excuses. There's no room for error. There needs to be a victory. I don't care if it's convincing. I don't care if it's champagne football. I don't care if they're serving caviar at halftime. What I want is 3 points. I want it gift wrapped and I want it nice and calm, right? Get your win, get those 3 points on, focus on the Liga game, and all of a sudden just make a bit of rotations, rest players. Let's go and beat Ipswich. They embarrassed us once. Let's not have that again. The only game they won, I think, at home this year was against us. That is embarrassing. Genuinely, it is embarrassing. The team I would start. Robert Sanchez will start in goal. We know that. We've been keeping clean sheets. He is the number one. Enzo's made that clear. Reece James, brother, right back. 2 centre-backs, Chalobah and Levi Colwill. The passing from Levi is integral. Chalobah's recovery needs to deal with Delap in pace. That will work. I don't think Hujsen's pace is good enough to deal with Liam Delap. On the left-back position, Marco Correa. We have no other choice. Midfield, Enzo, Caicedo, both rested. Did not play this week. Midweek, they are ready to go. Cole Palmer needs to be in the 10. For me, this is a player that needs to click. This is the type of game that you click and all of a sudden go on a nice little run. Right wing, Noni Madueke got a brace midweek. I don't care if it's the Conference League. We need to get him going. If he plays well, we will go further. Sancho got 2 assists midweek. I think he starts. A lot of people are calling for Tariq George. Whilst I would love if Tariq George starts and I wouldn't complain, I see Sancho starting. Neto doesn't deserve to start. Hasn't been good. I don't care if he's been rested. Take him out the firing line. Bring him on in the second half. Let him earn that position back. Number 9 needs to be Nicholas Jackson. We don't have any other choice. Christopher Nkunku cannot play 9. This is it. This is what we have. We have to be honest. We need to be transparent. We need to win. So listen, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I predict a victory. I predict a convincing victory, actually, at 3-0 for Chelsea. Another clean sheet, another statement, and we're going to close the gap on Forest. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know your thoughts, and in the comments below, Huijsen or Joshua Chempong, which one would you rather want?